I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts and crafts and jewelry. This the guardians of the geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Oh my goodness, Guardians of the Geekery back with special Geekery Market edition coming at you on Saturday, November 15th at the Cabarrus Arena and Event Center. Please come and this is a free event. So other than parking, which is very tough to get around, normally just bring some canned goods or some non-perishable food items to donate to Second Harvest. Food Bank. They're doing excellent work, not only in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, but also still up in the mountains where we just have reached the 1 year anniversary of Helene. So there's still much work to be done up there. We have a lot of author friends and just friends in general. My dad lives in that area too, and he said he's never seen anything like it. He's lived all over the states, and he's said he's never seen anything quite like this that wiped out so much infrastructure around, and they really are rebuilding quickly. And then the tourism is starting to come back, but for the people that actually live there, food is number one. And we all know when we go to the grocery store and we walk out with 4 bags and somehow we're $120 later, that those prices continue to go up. So we really appreciate you coming, and someone who's always supported the Geekery Market and the Charlotte Geeks and all our various events. We really appreciate it. Always, I'd say a true partner is John Hartness from Falstaff Books. John, welcome back. That's you, buddy. It's you.
Oh, it's me. Hey, what's up, gang? How we doing?
Hey, welcome back, Kata.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Geekery. It's one of my favorite events every year. We sell well at it, and I get to spend the day hanging out with my friends. So that's always awesome.
Yay!
Sweet.
And you've been
So
there.
what's new
I
in the
think
Falstaff? Oh, Mimi, go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
No.
We both.
Please go.
I was just going to say what's new in the Falstaff world. What new books will you be bringing to the Geekery Market?
Funny you should ask, because I did go over and grab a few visual aids. We've got a ton of new releases since last year's market. We we've probably released 30 or 40 books in the months between. Pardon me. But some of the things that we'll specifically be bringing out, we've got Pixie Dusted, which is the 3rd book in Sarah Sover's Fractured Face series. And if you've been around the Charlotte book and geeky community, you might think that a large character with a mohawk on a motorcycle named Quincy is patterned after someone in our community. And you'd be right. Sarah, the very first convention she ever did, met this guy named Quincy Allen, who's a big, burly, scary-looking dude with a mohawk, and she thought, this guy'd be fun to make him like a half-ogre character, and I'll never see this guy again. So then I see the draft of the cover, and I was like, Sover, is that Quincy Allen as a half-ogre? And she's like, yes. I thought I'd never see him again. I didn't know how small the book world was. And I was like, I live like 15 minutes from Q, right? No, I didn't.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. If you're a fan of police procedurals with magic, you should definitely check out the Fractured Face series. One of our new titles from our Falstaff Dread line is Southern Cross. So for anyone who watched the movie Sinners, I was just going to say anyone who loved the movie Sinners, but let's face it, if you watched Sinners and didn't love it, don't bother coming to our booth, because you obviously have no taste and you don't want to buy any of our shit. Because Sinners was incredible, and this is similar in vein. It's a freed slave hunting down Confederate vampires.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
one of the neatest projects we've done this year, this is Hideki Smith Demon Queller, which we released last year, but this isn't just the English version. This is also the Japanese edition. This is the bilingual edition of Hideki Smith Demon Queller, which has the English version in the beginning, and then we have it translated into Japanese in the back. And it no, actually this one you read left to right, and
yeah. Oh, so it goes standard.
It's not like a manga.
Okay.
Okay. It reads front to back like a normal American book. Apparently it's a thing in publishing books in Japan that you can go left to right, right to left, or uppy downy. I had no idea because I neither read nor speak Japanese and I don't live in Japan. But our translator did it and he said, no, it's fine. Just go left to right like you're used to. But yeah, it kind of mirrors the biracial character of the protagonist and the blended family. We've got a blended book with the English and Japanese edition. And, we've got a few other things. I've got a new Quincy Harker book called Reaper that's out. I've got a new Bubba the Monster Hunter book that's available. We've got a ton of new titles. So I hope everybody will stop by and say hello and check out what we've got going on. And we'll have tickets to Saga, which is our genre fiction writers conference coming up in March.
I will say too, John, I think the last time I saw you guys was at Charlotte Comic-Con, and your setup just makes me smile every time, because Charlotte Comic-Con itself, we've been going to since it was smaller, and it keeps getting larger. And to see you go from I guess a half dozen books when I met you to your
the mothership.
not to inflate you, but your publishing empire is
don't mind the cat hair over my camera.
When I saw the tail earlier, I got a little freaked out because I've been watching Alien Earth at night, and I just get scared. And,
No, it's Gandalf.
I'm actually surprised mine haven't jumped up here yet. I'm
I
hearing
know,
growls
Kara, what's
behind me.
going on
So
with
I
it?
saw one walking by. Oh, there's one in the background.
oh yeah,
Gandalf is big mad now. He doesn't. He's like, Dad, I know I'm famous. I think the cat has more YouTube subscribers than I do at this point.
Well, that is the way we make all of our technology for cats.
Absolutely, and cats and porn is what the internet exists for.
Yep, that's the only reason why we have an internet.
Yeah. That and Al Gore.
I feel like cats are the
here,
teenagers of the day world. Like,
yes.
Of the pet world.
God, yes.
Yeah.
I don't even have children, and God, yes.
Oh God, yeah, no. To have hairless two-legged ones, that would be terrible.
No, yeah, that's okay. I've got enough problems with the four-legged ones.
And didn't I see Hartley announce the second in the Hideki series as well?
Yes. Hideki Smith and the Omokade is available now wherever books are sold, especially on our Shopify, but we'll have that at the Geekery market as well. Sorry, I just finished up with Dragon Con, and the big book vending event there for us is the Fantasy Gather. So now it's the Geekery market, and it's all these hard G sounds.
So to ask, is Dragon Con back up to its standard levels of attendance?
They are still capping attendance every year, but I think this year the cap was 75 or 80,000 people. So it has yet to come back to 2019 levels, which I think the reported attendance in 2019 was 95,000. I don't know if that includes volunteers, guests, staff, etc., vendors. They've got 400 guests. They've got a ton of volunteers and staff. So I just generally tell people it's around 100,000 people. So it's enormous.
Yeah.
The line to get into the dealer hall wraps around the block.
Ugh.
And
I miss it, but I don't miss it.
It's gotten worse for the dealer hall because people have started to learn the tricks, or what used to be the tricks. It used to be you went to the dealer hall during the parade or
Yep.
Monday.
Yeah.
I was doing a signing at 3 p.m. on Monday. The dealer hall was supposed to close at 5. There were still lines half the block down when I left the dealer room at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
So everybody's learned the tricks, and now it's not a trick anymore.
I'll stick with my $10 virtual pass.
Yeah, it's like, Thursday was the new Friday, and then Wednesday was the new Thursday, and now it's like people go on Tuesday to get the Wednesday before the Thursday.
That's absolutely correct. And there's programming starting at like 4 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
I had a book sales event and a panel on Thursday night. So from 7 to 11, I was programmed on Thursday.
My first year at Dragon Con was 2007, and I went up through 2019 and then pandemic. And we did not go. And because my physical ability had been waning the past couple of years, it gave me a different perspective. And there are parts of me that are like, oh, I still want to go back. I still want to go back because I have not been back since 2019. There was a lot of things that happened that year. But I saw pictures on Wednesday or Thursday of them doing the countdown to midnight.
Wednesday midnight
in the Pulse. And there were so many people there that I felt like it was going to be one of those 1970s disaster movies, like, Towering Inferno or whatever, where it was just going to all collapse of all the people jumping up and down. And now, even with my much more succinct wheelchair versus my scooter, I kind of felt like my scooter probably would have given me more protection, because at least people couldn't come at me 3 feet, but they could still come in on the sides. But I just was like, no, I am good here. I am so glad for everybody that gets to go, and I'm so glad for the years that I went.
Well, one of our staffers was on a scooter this year because they just had surgery, and the lack of consideration on elevators for people with mobility aids is literally just disgusting.
Yeah.
I get that you've got things you want to go to, but get the hell off the elevator and let the person who cannot stand here get on, and don't make them ride up 50 floors to go down 4. That they were frequently late to things that they needed to go to for work, or had to miss them because no one would behave like they had any raisin, as we say in the South, and just let them on an elevator.
Yeah.
It was infuriating.
Yeah. It's definitely been an interesting situation. I mean, now I will say, Chris Shrewsbury said it best. He told me when I got my scooter to save my money and get a chair, and I should have listened. The chair has made a huge difference in my life, but still, I mean, I go to Trader Joe's. Now listen, Trader Joe's is a smaller store. The nicest people work at Trader Joe's. Mostly nice people shop at Trader Joe's. But people are just clueless. And I will sit there in their provided scooter, and people will just see me waiting to get to the cheese or get to the thing, and just, oh, well, let me just.
Yeah.
I had one woman, I was trying to get down the aisle to get something off the shelf, and her response when she saw me of getting out of the way for the shelf was to lean against the shelf like this. And I just looked at her, and I was just like, this is Trader Joe's. I don't want to be banned from here. So I'm not going to say any of the 4-letter words that are coming to my mind. but that does nothing. And she's like,
Right.
oh. And I was like,
Just move.
I just looked
Just
at her and I
move.
was just like,
It's everything's
no.
still going to be there when you get back. It's, the elevator's going to come back again. Goes
Right.
up and down all day.
Well, and Carol and I went to an Annie Leibovitz photo gallery
Ooh.
at the Mint, and we were sitting there, and it was they had 4 screens in kind of a 360, so you could go in, but there was 4 pictures showing on the screen at like a grouping of pictures of people or whatever. And so I'm sitting there in my wheelchair and Carol's standing beside me, and people just walked in front and stood in front of us as
Yeah.
we had kind of gotten to the back to kind of be out of the way, but also so that we could see all 4 screens.
Because you're in a
And there was like,
chair and it's harder
yeah,
to
and there was
pivot.
this round couch, one of those ones like you see in a hotel where like everybody's back is to the middle, so you could sit there and kind of do the round. But people were standing up, and then I literally felt like, again, I feel like sometimes that museum's like a library, and I was like, excuse me.
Right.
And then they looked put out, and I was like, where do you want me to go? I
I came
like,
here to
I'm
see Annie
literally trying to
Leibovitz,
look
not
past
your
your
butt.
butt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You should carry
So
a little rubber
anyway,
band
but that's all
gun.
good.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the Geekery market is we do, to segue into mobility scooters, we strive to have 10-foot aisles on every row so that you can have a row of people going in each direction and still have people standing in front of the booths. We try to make the corner sections like where Falstaff is. We make that a more open area where there's 1 or 2 tables. So if you need to sit and rest and chat with a friend, you don't have to block the people trying to sell their stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I
like,
went to a book
yeah.
fair at Old Mecklenburg Brewery not long ago, and sorry, I'm getting over con crud because I was at a convention with 90,000 people. And the outdoor section of Old Mecklenburg Brewery is this big kind of graveled area, which is not going to be great for anyone with mobility devices anyway.
Right.
But the spacing between the tables where they had people, it was not at all conducive to shopping. I'm not a small man, as y'all are well aware. Well, Matt is a man about my size, only taller. We could not have stood shoulder to shoulder in that aisle
Oh.
and had your cats could not have gotten between us if we were standing shoulder to shoulder in that aisle. So if we turn and let's say I'm looking at something over here and Matt's looking at something over here, no one can get between us without committing felonious assault on one of us or the other. So having that kind of spacing is the kind of thing that it matters to us as vendors because it's a time of economic uncertainty. So we're being much more judicious about which events we sign up for. And things like, well, people can breathe so someone can stand there and talk to you about your stuff. And I've had great conversations with people at events because, they saw a striking cover. Oh, what's that about? And then you go into the whole pitch. But if it's so crammed together that no one can move, then you can't sell anything.
Right.
So the spacing, not just for people who have mobility aids, for anyone is really important. And that is one thing I like about the market because you always feel like you can breathe, even when there's a couple thousand people coming through over the course of a day. It never feels like you're right on top of one another like it does at some other one-day events that I've done.
Yeah, and that's really key for us. We, as you know, one of the things that we try really hard to do is provide congregational spaces. So we don't want to discourage you from having chats with your friends.
Yeah.
We would like it if you did not have chats with your friends in front of somebody's booth who is trying to sell their stuff.
Yeah.
So
It will also keep you from getting poked in the behind with a book.
Exactly. So we, so like over by the Falstaff corner, which that is always a busy table. And I'm not saying that because you're on here, but I am saying it because you're on here, but I'm also saying because it's factual that
Well,
there's
when
always
you're
a
as
crowd at the
large
Falstaff
as I
table.
am, you begin to generate your own gravitational field.
Exactly.
Books get in your orbit and go around you.
Exactly.
But
It's a
we
sexy thing to
specifically
watch.
set it up so that there's space. So if people want to chat and talk, there's a table or two. Have
Yeah.
a squat. Talk for a little bit. We don't want to discourage you from doing that. And if the crowds are overwhelming, you can go and sit in the music area. And we've got a couple tables there. We also have a couple rows so people can do like, at a concert and sit. But we also have there's a concession stand on site, which thank goodness, right?
Yeah, for real.
Hot and
Yeah.
ready food. And you can sit, and the alcohol, and you can sit there and chat with people. And so we give you chat spaces. So you don't have to do that in the aisles. In the aisles, you could be there looking and doing stuff. And then we have activities. So like if you're bringing your family, one adult can take the kids over here while the other adult shops and swap off and do all that kind of thing.
And that also gives you a place to drink your beer, not over the
books.
expensive paper.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's
Just
not
saying.
do that.
I mean,
I will say too, the very back of the room where Jedi Santa and the TARDIS and some other things are there. There's room in front of that where you're not blocking people that are getting pictures with Santa or the TARDIS. So there's not a place for you to sit, but you can at least catch your breath.
Hang out.
And then,
yeah,
hang out, and you can kind of get in the back. You can kind of look at everything back forward and be like, oh, I totally missed this aisle over here. I'm going to go down here and kind of get your readjust your game plan, which in those busy times during the day, it is you have to constantly do that. And or you have to figure out, oh my gosh, I think I'll wait to the front because I did a whole lap and I still want that thingy up there that I've just got to have, and they only had one, and oh my gosh, why didn't I buy it? Let's go. But
well, I mean, and for shoppers, I know there's a lot to look at. You want to make sure you see everything. But really, if something catches your eye, buy it. Because typically what's on display is what we've got. It's what we brought. So
there is no stuff in the back.
Right. It's not Foot Locker. Is Foot Locker even still a thing? We can't go back in the back and get you a size 9.5. What's on the table is what we've got. So I hate to have people come back and be disappointed.
Yeah.
So if something catches your eye, buy it.
Yeah. No. And so that's why we try to do these podcasts. That's why we try to do the spotlight articles. So you can do your shopping before you get there and know, hey, I definitely want to hit this person, and this person. You can do some of that pre-planning on this is the stuff I want to make sure I get. And then there's additional stuff that maybe somebody who didn't participate in the spotlight or the podcast or whatever, and you haven't had a chance to see their stuff, then you can go and shop for them. But the ones that come on and show you what's there, you're going to feel a personal kind of attachment to that because you know the story, like with AJ, I mean, and the way the book, that's something that you may not see when it's just sitting in the display. You may not realize at first that the Japanese version is in the back, right? So
exactly.
And so that's one of your ways to do that. So
and if people see something from us that they know they want to pick up, they can go on our socials and message us and pre-order things and pick it up at the Geekery. So if you know you want a bilingual edition of Hideki Smith Demon Queller, send us a message and we'll have it in a bag for you. And we'll ring it up when you're there because we know that we're going to work very hard to add more things to the bag. Hello, kitty.
Yeah,
So-
Or they could buy it ahead of time in our market math, and then when they come and buy more stuff, it'll be like they got that free with purchase.
Sure. I'm down for whatever makes anyone feel like they want to buy more cool stuff.
Do you still have your Misfit toy card discount program? Or is that...
We will still honor it if people have collected the Misfit cards. I haven't printed any in a while because it's just a lot to keep up with.
And quite
And-
frankly, if you're buying from your friends, do them the favor of buying it full price.
Full price.
So,
Yeah.
you know, support
Let them make
support your
money.
friends. Don't
Yeah.
ask them for a discount.
Right.
I have my card because I like being a card carrying member. I have never used my card.
Yeah, I think same here.
Yeah. That's
So
well, honestly, that's why we rolled out the cards, because I know how often I've joined those loyalty programs at stores, and I also know exactly how often I've used the card for a discount. So I'm like, well, I've probably given Barnes and Noble several $100s in memberships over the years and never cashed it in. So I
the only
bet,
places where I've used my loyalty cards is Lowe's, Torrid, and Kohl's because it's connected to the credit card. So
yeah.
it's just part of
Mine
it.
was the only one I ever got my value out of ever my whole life, in my 50s now, is the Subway card. When I was eating meatball subs like they're going out of style, I got so much free stuff, supposedly free. The markups are always there, but at least I felt like I was getting something. But I'd be like, all right, king me, give me the free one. Let's go. All right, I can
The
spend
times that it
time.
was worth it to me is like most people, when I've bought the card along with a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
and basically
Yeah.
the membership was free
Yeah.
because I bought
Yeah.
so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it's
That's
Yeah.
good. Good
And of
thinking.
course, John, you don't just have your corner, because several of your authors are also they have expanded, so now they're at their own tables as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I haven't looked at the list lately. I assume Darren Kennedy will be there.
yes.
Darren's up to, God, what's he up to now? 10 or 11 titles on his table.
Yep.
6 of them with us, plus his rock and roll trilogy, plus he's got his Christmas Carol retelling, and yeah, he's at 11 books now on
Yep.
his table.
And then Samantha Bryant is a first time table at the
That'll be
Geekery
awesome.
Market.
She'll have her entire, she's got a ton of anthologies that she's done short stories in. Plus, she's got the whole Menopausal Superheroes series with us that's now
Yes.
complete. So people can buy that. She's
So
also
this
going to
is-
have a couple of the platinum editions of the Menopausal Superheroes series.
This is where you can play book talk scavenger hunt. So we have 2 games for the kids that they can come around and go around the event, and they can look for clues or they can search for gold. And then if you are a book lover, you can buy an anthology, and then you can go on a scavenger hunt to see what authors at other tables may also be in that anthology or behind
Absolutely.
the Falstaff table, and see how many signatures you can get on site.
Yeah, because like Nevermore is an anthology we produced last year or year before last, and it's got a ton of people who are frequently at the Geekery. And I've got stories in anthologies for Nicole Givens Kurtz at Mocha Memoirs Press.
Yes.
So if you pick up the Crack in the Code anthology from Nicole, you can bring it over to our booth and I can sign it. You buy Nevermore from us, take it over to Nicole's booth and she can sign it.
And Jason Gilbert is there this year, which he hasn't been there because, of course, he was impacted by Helene last year. So it's been a couple years since Jason's been at an event, and he's in some of these anthologies too.
Yeah, he's in Nevermore.
So yeah, you can go on the Nevermore. We should make that a thing for the Geekery Market. Figure out which anthology that is on
Has
your
the
table,
most
John.
people.
Has the most people that are going to be there in other
It's going to
places.
be Nevermore.
And we can say, hey, if you purchase a copy of Nevermore, this is how many signatures you can get at the Geekery Market today.
I'll get that to you this week.
That sounds amazing.
Sweet.
See, I love it when a plan
Awesome.
comes
See?
together.
Yeah.
Now, the
Now we
thing
got a
we
new
haven't talked
thing.
about, which I feel like we need to bring up before, it gets too far into the call, is the thing you should know about John and I is we've known each other for
Longer than
almost,
either of us care to admit.
well,
Since my beard was the color of Matt's.
2007 or 8 was when we met.
Nope.
No?
No, because I didn't publish my first book till '09, and I wasn't on this local geek scene at all until after that. So it wouldn't have been
Okay.
until 2010.
So 2009 was the first Geek Gala. So the Charlotte Geeks had been around since 2008. 2009. And then Carol, you started volunteering 2010, the next year.
Right. Yeah, because I just went to the gala.
And then that would have been, so John and I have known each other for 15 years now. Matt and I have only known each other for 11 years. So when Matt and I first started dating and then got married, Facebook liked to tell me that, kept asking me if I wanted to tag John Hartness in all of my dating photos with Matt.
I mean, I was here first.
Yeah, you were. Well, and clearly I have a type, right? So,
It's a very handsome type.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so more than once in Facebook algorithm world, it will try to sneak in a picture of Matt when we celebrate my friendship with John, or pictures of John when Matt and I celebrate an anniversary.
I've gotten Facebook notifications that so-and-so commented on a photo of you, and I go look, and it's some coworker or family member of Matt's saying, Matt, that's not you. And I'm like, nope, sure isn't.
Well, the worst is when I take a selfie and it says, "Do you want to tag John?" And I'm like, "Oh, what the heck? This is just a cotton picking second. This is not right." I mean,
but yes,
while
and then
we do
of course
resemble one another, Matt's like almost half a foot taller. He's a very tall human, and I'm what I consider normal sized.
How tall are you, John?
I'm 6'1".
I'm 6'3". Yeah, we're close.
Your hair must be taller than mine then.
My toupee is fantastic, I'll have to admit.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, usually we're coming up to you at a con and you're sitting.
I'm sitting. Yes.
Yes.
There's this whole thing. People are like, don't ever sit down at a convention. Y'all, I'm 6'1". I weigh 300 pounds, and I got a whole bunch of tattoos, and I look like I just stepped off the set of a Sons of Anarchy reboot. I sit down at conventions because I look like a murderer.
Yes.
And I've never been convicted. So
most of my life is on Zoom. I'm 5'10". Yeah. And of course, I go around in a wheelchair, but I am ambulatory wheelchair user. I can stand or walk for 5-ish minutes at a time. So if I go to the bathroom, I can walk myself. Thank goodness, because most bathrooms are not as accessible as you think.
No, very much
but
not.
It always shocks somebody when they finally see me standing, because all they've ever seen me on is Zoom, and they think I'm like 5'5". And then I stand up and they're like,
Carol size.
Holy shite, you're taller than I thought. So
yeah, I forget how tall you are.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is how you see me. But yeah. But anyway, well, listen, if you want to see how tall any of us are, the best way to do that is come to the Geekery market. We will have the Nevermore scavenger hunt. That's a thing now.
Yes.
Carol's like, she added another thing.
Something else to do.
Okay. And definitely check out the Falstaff YouTube channel if you've not done so. John was a publisher, was a writer first, and then he became an author, and now he is one of the biggest small presses
in the Southeast.
Southeast, I would say. Yeah. And the thing that's different about Falstaff than some of these other publishing companies is it's really a nurturing environment where you will see people that have been working on their books for a while grow within the business and expand and
That
start
is
out
one of
at
the things
other
that I take
places.
great pride out in.
What?
That's something I take great pride in, is the people who we have helped
Yeah.
launch and move forward in their careers. Because nobody's
Yes.
getting rich writing for a small press. But if I can give you the tools or the confidence to go and sell your book to a bigger house, I'm thrilled about that. Natanya Barron's one of our great success stories. She had largely given up on publishing fiction. Or publishing anything. And James Gates was editing a series for us, and she found Natanya. They had been friends for a while, and she brought Natanya in, and she started doing covers for us, and then was doing novellas and novels for us. And now she's got multiple books out with, I believe, Solaris, which is one of the biggest presses in the world. And she's doing very well. She got her first Hugo nomination this year for her podcast that she's on. And that's one of our big success stories, and I take a lot of pride in being able to offer that to writers who need a little lift up.
Well, and so many times you'll see these writers that they've got 1 or 2 books, and then because they had that idea, and then they're not quite sure where to go next. And then you get in with a group like Falstaff, where you have these writers helping other writers, editors helping writers, everybody kind of grows. And then suddenly you have the Darren Kennedys and the Samantha Bryants who have grown themselves. So,
Yeah.
No hidden behind the scenes thing here, but typically we do not have writers at the Geekery market unless they have at least 3 or 4 books of their own, and maybe they're in some anthologies and stuff as well, but a lot of times these anthologies are sold at the publishing house and then at your table, so we want to make sure that you're going to be successful, that you're going to sell what you need to sell in order to make it make sense for you to come to our event. And having just one book is not always going to do that for you.
No, it's very hard to make any money with 1 or 2 books on your table. You don't have a diverse enough offering to hit, because not everybody reads the same stuff.
Right.
The 4 of us here are voracious readers, but we don't all read the same stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Carol's bought books that I've edited and is like, I really love that series. And I'm like, I'm really glad you do.
I don't know what it's
I did the editorial on it. I can appreciate that it was well crafted. Not my jam.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of those things. And so, we require people to have more than one. And one of the questions we ask you when you apply for the market is, what are you bringing? Are you bringing something new? Have you published anything since last time you were at the market? And sometimes people get offended by that, but I'm like, if you've been to the market 3 times and you have not published a new book, you've saturated other than anybody new that we bring in, a lot of your hardcore readers have bought it.
You've licked the red off that candy cane, kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's one of those things, but the Falstaff table is always a great place to start. Get your starter books for all the series. And then as those authors grow, you can meet them in person, because then they'll, qualify to have a table of their own at the market. So.
Absolutely.
I will say too, even if you're not an author, John is an incredible snuggler. So just do yourself a favor, get yourself a hug, ask first, or you don't even have to. John will just take the hug anyway. But
I mean, if you're coming up behind me, ask first.
Yeah.
But if I can see you, I'll hug. But don't just like sneak up behind me, because I'm going to think you're going to suplex me through the table. So at least, make sure there's a little eye contact going on. Like uncomfortable eye contact. Come on, kid.
But yeah, so definitely check out the Falstaff Corner when you come to the Geekery market. And then, we will have the Nevermore scavenger hunt. That's a thing now. And make sure you're there Saturday, November 15th. Get your orders in ahead of time, pick them up. Great for the holidays. They
Books
usually
are easy to wrap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even for me.
Yeah.
And let's face it, you need to give yourself some presents too. So
Well,
That's
yeah.
what Carol's going to be doing. She's going to be coming up and shopping for herself.
Of course.
You can claim that they're for the cats, but I know you.
John, thank you as always
unfortunately
for
don't
being
read.
on the podcast.
Thank you all so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in November. If I don't run into you before then. And in the meantime, cheese.
Peace.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.